こんにちは、私はブルックです。これは日本のトリップで最終日。お楽しみに。So we woke up to our last full day in Japan. Right when I woke up, I decided to watch some strong bad emails to kill time before we left. Through the window by the elevator on our floor, there was a nice view of the Tokyo Sumo Hall and the Tokyo Skytree being built in the background. I don't know if you noticed from the window shot, but this is a subway station down here. And this is the inside of that same subway station. There are pictures of sumo wrestlers on the walls, I guess because they're right next to a sumo hall or something. Everyone in the subway seemed to be really busy, as if they were late to work or something. The subway station was right next to a shopping district, so there was this wall of buildings right behind the tracks. The train came, they stuffed us all in, and then we got off again to transfer trains. I'm not sure the name of this station, but it was a lot bigger and the train we got on was much less crowded. We got off the train again, and it was at this station where I realized that Japanese subway gates kind of look like iPhone 4s, except the colors are inverted, like the black is where silver should be and then the silver is where the black should be. We headed towards the National Museum of Nature and Science in Tokyo, and on the way there was this path. And obviously I took a picture of another bird, but there was this fountain. And I was being drawn towards it. I decided to take video of it for some reason. It was just a normal fountain, but I had to take video of it. It was magical. So we headed on the path some more, and then we got in front of the museum where we were greeted by this huge metal whale. I don't know what kind of whale it was, but you can tell obviously even in that sort of bent position, it was almost as tall as the actual building, so it was pretty big. So we walked into the museum, and then we went over to the zoology section where there was this huge room filled with stuffed animals. And stuffed animals, I don't mean like cute cuddly stuffed animals, I mean dead animals with their guts taken out and filled with something. And it was really creepy. They were all just staring at you. They're all pointed towards the entrance. So right when you walked in, there was deers and lions and gazelles or whatever all looking at you. It was creepy. So then, after you walk out of that room, there was this huge wall of stuffed birds. They weren't looking at you, so it wasn't as creepy, but it was still pretty creepy. Just a huge wall with eagles and smaller birds. Still creepy. So then we went out of that room, went downstairs to the physics room, where there were a whole bunch of experiments and stuff. And there was this demonstration about how light mixes together and what colors they make on this dinosaur cutout. And then there's also this demonstration on how electricity passes through two metal rods. And I took like 20 pictures trying to get a picture of the electricity passing through the two rods. And I finally got one in the end, and then I realized that electricity doesn't look good on pictures at all, so it was a waste of time. So then we walked out, and then I found this 1/5 scale model of a Mazda RX-7 for some reason, and then I found space curry. Why? I don't know. I'm guessing it's like the space foods, like space ice cream that we have here, where it's just like dehydrated, but I don't get how that would work with curry, because it's a sauce. If it's dehydrated, it's not a sauce anymore, unless they just give you curry powder, and then it's just like normal store-bought curry. You could just mix with water. It doesn't make sense. So we left the museum, and then we got into the subway again and head off to Electric Town, also known as Akihabara. Right after we left the station, we saw tons of stalls for electronics and stuff, and some guy over to the right selling gold or buying gold or something like that. So we got over to the main street, and it was amazing. There were a whole bunch of huge buildings, and they were so colorful. They were like anime and games plastered onto them, and I don't think I would ever see anything like that in America. It was amazing. Oh, and one thing. You see that maid over there in the corner? Okay, so some of my friends got lured in by this maid to go into the maid cafe, and I didn't want to, but we decided we were going to stay as a group, so I had to go with them. And we ended up spending 2 hours there, and I ended up spending $15 on someone else's drink. So far I have bad experience with the maid cafes. I don't want to go back again. Moving on. So with all the buildings, the anime and games plastered on it, the huge anime girl with the short skirt on it, I actually ended up using that as a landmark so I wouldn't get lost around Akihabara when we decided to split up. So I guess it came in handy. So we were walking. I saw a robot talking on a cell phone. We did more walking, and then I decided to go shopping. I went shopping for anime, manga related stuff, as you saw in my video a few months ago, maybe even a year ago. No, not a year ago. A few months ago, like 9-10 months ago, showing off all the stuff that I bought with the figures and stuff. That's the kind of stuff that I bought. And most of the stores that I went into, they didn't let you take pictures, so I took a picture of my hand holding all these bags. And that's what you're going to see while I talk about this stuff. The bag actually is a lot heavier than it looks. Those huge boxes of figures, they were really heavy, and I got 2 of them, and yeah, it was really heavy, and my hand started to hurt a lot because I had to hold with one hand because my other hand had my camera in it. Because I don't like putting the strap on my neck, it really hurts my neck. So one hand heavy bags, one hand camera. I was really tired. So we finished shopping and then we went back to the station in Akihabara, and then I saw through the ceiling the sign for Yodobashi Akiba, which is this huge store that has like computer parts and camera equipment and generally all things electronic. And I really wanted to go there after I saw it on G4's Attack of the Show, where Olivia and Kevin go to Japan, and I just found where it was right when we were about to leave, and even so I didn't know how to get there. It looked like I was on the other side of where we went, so it was so disappointing. I really want to go there one day. It's like 9 stores filled with electronics. It's amazing. So we went on the subway and then we ended up in Shibuya. I actually got to go on that famous scramble crosswalk that you see in a whole bunch of movies and pictures and stuff, and it actually is a scramble. Like, there's guys telling people where to walk, but most of the time people don't use those. They just walk wherever they need to go to get to their buildings and stuff. And it was pretty fun, actually, just for crossing streets. And then I saw a huge bunny. I actually ended up doing a lot more in Shibuya, but we didn't stop anywhere to put my bag, so I was still holding this huge bag of figures, and my arm was getting tired, and I didn't feel like holding or taking any pictures, so there's no more pictures of Shibuya. So the next pictures you're gonna see is after we went to the hotel, rested a bit, I took off my stuff, or put down my stuff, and then we went off to go eat. So we went to go eat dinner at a sukiyaki restaurant, and sukiyaki, they give you a pot with a burner in the middle of your plate, and they put all the ingredients in, like meat, tofu, vegetables and stuff, and they put it in some sort of liquid, or chicken broth or something, and then it's raw, and then you turn on the burner and then you cook everything yourself. And I think it's a really fun experience. You get to make it how you want it instead of having to ask the chef to do it and he does it for you. You can do it exactly how you want it right in front of you, and then you just take it out and share it with like 4 or 5 people around you. And obviously they give you stuff like rice and water and stuff, but it's fun, pretty much. I think everyone should. I don't know if there's any sukiyaki restaurants in America, but if you have the chance, try to do it yourself. It's a good experience. So we finished eating and then went back over to the subway station, and on the subway map I took a picture of the Naruto and Sakura subway stations, because as a Naruto fan I just found that pretty entertaining. And then we went over to the kiosk, bought our tickets, went over to the subway, and then we rode the subway over to the Tokyo Dome. The Tokyo Dome is actually a baseball stadium, but it has tons of stores around it and even has like an on-site roller coaster and Ferris wheel. But they were $10 a ride, so I didn't get anywhere near those. So we walked around, we checked out some stores. I even went to an arcade, but as always, they don't let you take pictures in there, so I don't have any pictures of that. And then we went back to our hotel, and that was the last night that we actually had, because when we woke up, we were going to be packing up and going home. So the next day, we woke up, we packed all our bags, and then we headed over to Narita Airport in Tokyo. We got all our bags checked together, but because we all came from different places, we had to go to our respective terminals. Like, some people came from Maryland with me, but some came from Pennsylvania and some from Texas, and there was actually this one kid who came from Australia. So we had to split up to go to our separate planes, and that's the last time we saw each other as a group. So we got to our terminal, I put my stuff down because we ended up waiting there for about 4 hours. So we went around to look at some stores, but I put my camera in my bag, so I don't have any picture of that. But at the stores in the airport, there are a whole bunch of, like, you're still in Japan. It actually didn't feel like I was in Japan anymore when I was at the airport, but I was still in Japan. And you could buy a whole bunch of Japanese stuff and American stuff in the airport, and you could pay with either Japanese yen or American dollars, which I still had in my wallet. So I was able to save some of my Japanese yen as souvenirs I actually still have, and I was able to pay for stuff in American dollars, which was nice. So then it was finally time to go. We walked over to the plane. I saw all the airport vehicles pass by through the window. So then I stood on the horizontal escalator and stared down my plane as it was being filled with food to feed us. And then I got onto my plane. So I took my seat, looked at the window, and I saw that Narita Airport is actually seeing me off with a smile. So one random thing to add. When I got onto the plane, I got a Sprite for a drink, and they actually gave me a Sprite can from Thailand. Like all the writing of that was in Thai. It wasn't Japanese or it wasn't American. I didn't expect it to be Thai though. So I guess they stopped off in Thailand to refuel and to restock and whatever. So on the plane there was actually this TV screen that had a map that showed you where your plane was and like how many miles you had to go and how long like estimated it would take, and that was pretty cool. But it showed that our plane was going up across like northern part of Japan, over Russia, and then Alaska, and then down to California, and then over to Maryland, which I thought was pretty inefficient. Why didn't they just go across the Pacific Ocean? That might have saved a few hours, but I don't know how aeronautics works. So right when I was getting closer to Maryland, I saw this amazing looking sunrise, and I got some cool pictures of a sunrise from about 35,000 feet in the air. And then we got home, and that ends my trip to Japan. I hope you guys liked all my trip to Japan videos. I think it was 10 videos. I think this is the 10th video. So I hope you liked it. This is the last one, and more vlog type videos are going to be coming soon. So look forward to it. Goodbye.